Good morning. So, scary out there, isn't it? So on this version of The Professor Helps, I have to admit to feeling a little bit helpless. There's a lot of things that I could say. There's a lot of things that have been said. But I think that it's important to find a way to inspire you, even in this time of difficulty. So I think that there's two places to live in. Seriously freaked out, you're anxious and full of anxiety and having difficulty, doing basic things, because that's a real thing. And then there's the other side of it where you're washing your hands, sanitizing, you're keeping social distance, you're doing everything you're supposed to do, and you're still freaked out, but you realize that you're doing everything that you can do to contribute or to avoid the spread of coronavirus. So there's two camps, and I think that if you fall somewhere in the middle, you're probably doing okay, which is, am I doing everything I can do? And if you are in that second camp where you are freaked out and anxious and not able to do things, that is absolutely 100% okay. The next thing I'm going to tell you to do is, if you feel upset or worried or anxious or anything like that, seek professional help, because therapy has gone online, which is kind of exciting, because they realize that people are going to need therapy at this point. And probably they needed therapy before. It's just that something like this has really brought out their fears and their anxieties and made it more difficult to hide how they're feeling. So I include myself in that. It is difficult right now for a very first world problem, which I know is going to get a lot of play right now, because now that we have an actual world problem, first world problem is going to be bandied about completely. My biggest fear right now, besides getting the coronavirus, because I think that's all of what we fear, is that we're going to go virtual. We're going to go online, which is great. I'm glad that everybody is set up to work from home and play from home and have conversations and do FaceTime, and I've taken advantage of some of that. My biggest fear is that we're going to go virtual and we're never going to go back. And for a social butterfly like myself, the idea of being reverted to my cocoon and not able to go out and be with the people, that is terrifying. And I know it seems crazy. I'm hoping that the flip side of that will happen, is that people will appreciate how much we liked to hug each other when we wanted to hug someone. Obviously, if you don't want to hug anybody, that's on you, especially right now. But I found myself telling people, I would hug you because I'm so proud of you and I'm so excited for this thing that happened. But right now, I can't. I owe you a hug, and down the line, I will be able to hug you. And I think that having that injection of hope of down the line, I will hug you, helps. But the other thing is that I really hope that we'll get back to looking at each other and seeing each other and being there for each other, and that this won't isolate us completely, where we have to go underground and, not talk to other people and not touch other people. It's just, that's just driving me crazy. I like to shake hands with people. I like to interact with people. I love to high five people, and can't do any of that right now. Also, I don't know about you, but if you cough or sneeze because you swallowed some pepper, or you have allergies, you feel compelled to defend yourself and say, no, I do not have the coronavirus. I just coughed because I swallowed my water the wrong way. Or I had pepper in my nose because I was eating something and I sneezed the wrong way, and oh my gosh. But it's a symptom of what's going on right now. And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about it. And so I guess the thing is that what I'm trying to do is bring you some hope and inspiration by talking about what's really there, and also about what is true for me. So first, what can you do? Well, you can continue to follow the CDC regulations. I'm going to post them below, and it's really simple. Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. Don't touch your face, and sanitize, and practice social distance. And if you can avoid it, Do not leave your house. This is the hard part for me because I am in an essential industry, transportation. So I am currently essential, and so therefore I cannot work from home. But right now I'm working, I'm coming home, and that's it. And so the second thing that you can do is you can check your feelings, see where you are. So like some days you might wake up and maybe you forget about it for a second, and that's a good thing. And you kind of go, all right, I'm gonna go through my day. If you are at home and working from home and you have kids and you're trying to figure out how to educate them, I salute you, because that is one of those things where you don't realize how hard it is until you try to do it. And oh my God, teachers, you are the real heroes, because trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with my very, very rambunctious 3-year-old and keep her occupied over the next couple of weeks, because whether I'm doing it or my husband is doing it, it's definitely something we need to plan out together. And I think that's the key too, is like figuring out, what are we going to do today? What are we going to do tomorrow? Are we going to garden? Are we going to do things outside? Trade off, do things where, you know, one person is there and the other person is not. Because I'm working right now, at night is going to be my time with her. So trying to figure out fun activities for us to do. And talk to your kids if you have them and say, you know, this is a scary time. Your parents are here and we love you and we're doing everything we can do to safeguard you. And that's it. And it's a lot more conversations like that. It's not just one and done. It's going to take more conversations. Let's see. The third thing that you can do is embrace it. And I'm not trying to silver lining this thing, but I will tell you that there are 2 events that are very important to me that if I were part of them and this happened, I wouldn't be able to do them. So of course I'm talking about TED Talk. A couple of months ago I posted about how important it was and how frustrated I was that I didn't get picked for TED. And right now that seems like a really first world problem. And I'm not denigrating or downgrading how I feel about that. However, because every TED Talk in the country has been canceled, at least for now, I think my heart would break right open if I had gotten selected and I wasn't able to do it. And I'm sure that a lot of you are feeling that way about weddings that have been canceled, showers that have been canceled, events that have been canceled. So I think another thing you can do is make a list of the things that you're going to do when this is all over and things return to normal, whatever our new normal is. And the other thing too is that, you know, we always walk around and we're so busy and we don't have time and we don't have time. Well, guess what? You have a lot of time right now. You can meditate, which if you've never done it, I highly recommend. There's a web app called Headspace, and I really love it. It kind of lets you ease in, so you can do 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 4 minutes. I was doing that before, but now I find it more essential than ever. I have a couple of friends who, of course, are artists, and so they're digging into this time to paint. They're writing things, they're doing YouTube videos, much like I'm doing now. In fact, I have been hesitant to launch my YouTube channel, but now it's like, hey, let's just do it. The Professor Helps is something I do every Wednesday. I've been doing it since December. If you find this helpful, please hit subscribe and, of course, hit share. So do that creative thing that you haven't wanted to do, or, you know, tackle that project. Like, I'm also going to be looking at schools because it's been too much. You know, I need to go back to school, and I keep saying I'm going to do it. I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I keep not doing it. So, there's never been a more important time to not say someday, but in fact, today. Today is the day. So I'm looking into schools right now. I've got conversations going with different people to figure out what I'm going to do next. And the fourth thing you can do is realize that none of us know what to expect out of this. And that is okay. And the thing is that you're going to say the wrong thing, or you're going to upset somebody, and just be kind to each other. Just really, really be kind to each other right now. It's never been a better time to be kind to each other. I mean, honestly, we could have done that before, and it's one of those things where you say to yourself, well, I'm busy. Well, stop being busy and start being kind. And I guess the next thing that you can do, and probably the most important thing you can do, is find the good. One of the things that Mr. Rogers said is that his mother said, in a crisis, look for the helpers, because they're always there. I mean, God, we definitely know that. All the people who are working at hospitals right now, they're the real heroes. And people who are in the service industry, the ones who are still working and feeding people, and the people who take out your trash, and people like that who are essential. And it's one of those things where they're risking their lives every day by working for you. So look for the helpers. Those are the helpers. Find the good. And the good is stories like billionaires giving money to cures and trying to find a vaccine for this. And they're working overtime to get this done. And, you know, people are collaborating and finding ways to work from home. And, you know, the world isn't stopping. There are job fairs happening right now. There is a friend of mine who's starting a brand new job today. And I'm so proud of her because it's a great opportunity for her. And she went and did this despite the fact that, you know, the world is falling apart. The world is not falling apart. And the truth is that you can find the good. And if you can't find the good, which also includes thanking somebody who's helping you with your gas, or any chance that you talk to someone, you can even make a joke of it. Say, listen, I would shake your hand, but it's a global pandemic, so can't do that. But I will wish you well. But if you can't find the good, be the good. And we all have the opportunity to be good every single day. We have the opportunity to be kind to people every single day. And the thing that I'm hoping against hope that will happen is that people will remember common courtesy. They will start to find ways to help each other virtually. Somebody who can't help another person, who can't help another person, that person will still help the other person. And, you know, people will go back to being a little bit kinder, because right now I think what's been happening is that we're just a little too busy and we're not making the time to help people the way that we should. So my message today is to feel your feelings. If you need help, reach out to a therapist. And if you are stuck at home, try to reframe it and figure out all those projects that you normally want to do but you just don't have time for. Now you do. So paint a picture, dance a dance. There are a lot of companies that are offering dance classes, which is pretty awesome. You can also get creative with, you know, live streaming things. I think they live streamed Aurora Borealis last night. There's a lot of things available because everyone in this world epidemic is pulling together, and that's pretty great. And the last thing you can do is look for the good. Look for the good. Look for the person who's helping. Look for the person who's doing something. And if you can't find the good, be the good. And that is the professor signing off.